Ever have one of those days where you're just lacking inspiration? You want to create, but you just don't know what to do. Well, recently I spent about 10 days where I wasn't creating anything. And when I went back into the studio, it just wasn't happening. It was like the wheels had fallen off. I looked through my new napkins, I looked through my supplies, but there was no spark. I was lacking in inspiration. But I really needed to create. So here's what I did. I picked out some art journal pages that I had previously put some gel prints on. These were gel prints that I liked, and they've been sitting in my studio for a while. It's already done. I've got the first layer done, and it's going to dictate the color scheme. So some decisions are made. It kind of jump starts the whole process and gets me going. Then I decided I'm just going to add some collage papers. I grabbed these numbers. These were just printed out numbers that I randomly typed out on my word processor, and I blew them up. I'm going to rip them and glue them down. Then I thought, oh, you know what? I've got this napkin. Now, this napkin's not really useful for anything, but it has these foliage things. What happens if I just rip them off, put them on, and see? I'm thinking the white is just going to go translucent, and I'm going to see some of that foliage on there, and that might add another layer of interest. I'm working really quickly. When you're fighting that inspirational lag, work quickly. Don't overthink. Throw it down, and you don't have to overcommit at this stage. If I see this at the end, great. If I don't, great. I'm just adding layers. I want to break through this creative block that I seem to be in and just get lost in the process. So there is no right or wrong, and I'm just pushing myself through, and I'm not thinking of where this is going to go. I have no idea what focal image I'm going to do. I have no idea what I'm even going to grab. The one thing that I do is when I'm in this, lack of inspiration, I do limit myself to whatever supplies are within easy reach. I'm not going into my cupboards or digging for other possibilities. So once I have those two collage papers glued down, I'm just going to do some stamping. And this is text stamping. Now, a lot of this, I'm not sure that this really added to it or anything. That's okay. It'll either show and I'll like it, or I can cover it up with paint. I don't have to overcommit at this stage. Now here I'm just going to kind of meld this all together because right now it kind of looks like those number collage papers are just on top and they don't have a connection to everything else. It was at this point that my brain was kind of switching on to creative mode. I didn't feel like I was dragging my feet. I was more in the creative flow. Here I'm just putting this, I'm softening the edges, adding some white space in there. And I'm liking how that's kind of broken it up. And yes, that beautiful background that we had at the beginning that I loved, that I didn't know what to do, has been kind of lost a little bit, but it's given birth to this. Now it had that Naples yellow in it, and I wanted to add more of that in. And having put that gesso on, that made the perfect landing space for it. I've also blended in some of those collage papers. We want the background to be all cohesive, and by adding the gesso and the Naples yellow, that's done it. This is a trivet or a sink liner, and I have cut it to size, and I use this as a stamp. I'm putting on quinacridone magenta and using it as a stamp. And I love that look. It's imperfect. It's really stand out. That one didn't quite work enough. I didn't put enough paint, but I can line it up again and add a little bit more. I'm not looking for a perfect stamp. This is looking better and better. Here I'm lining it up, getting a little bit more. very organic. Just that little bit, lots of interest in this background. Now, the white of that number collage paper is kind of bothering me, so I'm just going to put a very light coat of Naples yellow with the quinacridone magenta over top of it, knocking back the white, only to add white in another way that I think is going to be made more interesting. And that is, I'm going to use this DIY stamp bubble wrap and put some white in on it. Again, I'm not looking for a perfect stamp. I just want to add another layer of interest, add some contrast with using white. And now you can see why I covered the white of the numbers. And very definitely at this point, I am in that creative flow. I've broken through that creative block and I'm just trusting my instincts, adding interesting layer upon layer upon layer. And I'm loving the end result here. And here's a reminder of where we started. This gave birth to a background that I love. So now I need to put a focal image on this. And I previously said I got a new shipment of napkins from Ninny's Napkins, and I had one napkin, but it's got very small focal images on it. And I want to use several of them on here, but I need to give them a little bit of weight on the page. So I am using this Fisker's template, and I'm drawing a circle with my Inktense pencils. And then I'm painting out the circles. This is giving a base for me to glue the napkin focal down. I'm not looking for complete opaque coverage, although you could go that route if that's the way you would like it better. You can still see some of the texture, some of the pattern come in, but it's white, and that's going to showcase the focal images that I'm going to glue down. I chose white here. You could have put Naples yellow, but the Naples yellow would have been a little too dark for my focal image. Now here's the napkin, and it is an Easter napkin, and it's cocktail size. There are 4 different ones. This would be perfect to make coasters if you wanted themed coasters or kind of ornaments. But I'm going to pick 3 of these and glue them down, and they combined will make the focal image. So I'm rough cutting them. I keep the 3 plies of the napkin together when I'm cutting. It just makes it easier when you're cutting. And then I'm going to addition them in the different places. Which one do I like? Now, I'm not worried about the colors not exactly matching my background because I know I can change those colors and make it my own. So after a lot of rearranging, I'm ready to water cut a little closer and get rid of some of that excess napkin. But first, I need to take off the excess plies. There are 2 excess plies. And then I'm going to grab my liner brush and a little bit of water and remove some of that white. It's not 100% necessary to remove the white. I like the deckled edge. It makes it disappear into the background. And I like getting rid of that bulk. And quite honestly, this is really easy. I can also edit parts of it that I don't want. I just cut them off. I find this easier to do than cutting with scissors. Depending on the focal image and the intricacy of it, you may be able to use scissors to cut it out. But when you're doing that, leave the 3 plies together until it's cut out. But for me, this is my preferred way. I can do this a lot faster than I can use and cut it with scissors. So I'm going to do that with all 3 of the images that I've shown, but you don't need to watch me doing that. And there we have all 3. And then I'm going to grab my fluid matte medium, put a coat under, and a coat on top to seal it. And it's really important that you put the matte medium on top because I am going to colorize it. And I need to seal that, make it a non-porous surface so it doesn't just wick out on the napkin and give you an effect that you're not going to like. So if you have a napkin or focal images that are small, doing this circle background or any kind of shape for that matter is a good trick to use. And I love how that bubble wrap, the circle of the bubble wrap really matches the bigger circles that I have. So here I'm taking my Inktense blocks, wetting it down with a little bit of water, and I'm changing, tweaking the color of my napkin focal. I'm changing the color of the eggs to more coincide with the colors that are in the background. The purple that's there really doesn't go, so I'm mixing the purple and getting more of a violet, a red purple that matches the pink that's in the background. Using the same shades of yellow that I have in the background also ties everything together. And I just work my way on doing as much or as little tweaking of colors as I need. And I like using my Inktense blocks. They are permanent when they're dry, um, and they're more translucent. It's more of a wash, and it's just a great way of tweaking the colors. I'm just going to do the bunnies and I do the leaves. I do pretty much the entirety of all the focals there. Now, if you're looking at the background here, you might notice some of those numbers are peeking through, some of the foliage is peeking through. There's little bits of interest, and that's what makes an interesting background. So when you're struggling for inspiration and you're fighting that creative block, don't try to make every decision. Make one decision at a time, one step at a time, and you will get there. I grabbed some of these foam letters. I think they're Tim Holtz, and I put Be Hoppy. I'm going to put them on the acrylic block. Now, these foam letters are old, so they don't always stick. So I used a little bit of glue stick or double-sided tape to help stick it to the acrylic block so I could stamp with it. But you do what you got to do. I like the contrast with the black here, and I just Be Hoppy. Here I went letter by letter because they weren't sticking and they were causing me some grief. And I put some glue stick on the block and then I wash off the stamp and the block afterwards. I really like how this came together. I'm really liking the black on here. So I am edging my page with black just to, again, tie it all together. Standard issue finishing technique. I'm going to go around the edge and then I'm going to shade around the circles as well. Just a finishing technique, tying it all together. And then I thought I'd do some faux stitching with my Posca pen around the white. Just another little finishing tidbit. So the next time you're struggling for inspiration, fighting that creative block, try what I did here. Use colors you love, use gel prints as a jump start, one step at a time, one decision at a time, and don't worry about the end. Now go get creative.